know, before I get into the the meat of this video, there's a few things that I need to say up front that will, of course, serve as the intro to this masterpiece. We all seen the footage. I would imagine the proverbial four corners of the globe have viewed this video footage. And the video footage that is in question that I'm talking about is the footage of one Stephon Clark's brother. We all seen it. Which, by the way, is the reason for the title of the video. You see the title of the video. And I'm going to tell y'all what I'm going to do. Because tomorrow is y'all's Easter. And y'all know how I do every one of y'all's major holidays. I produce one of my rabbit hole trilogies. And Stephon Clark, I believe his brother's name is Devontae. Don't quote me on that. I believe that's his name. But y'all know who I'm talking about. That brother that interrupted that city council meeting, he has been summoned to the hole. We got to address him in the hole. And videos that I had planned to do for y'all's Easter trilogy, I'm going to set those aside because I'm going to address this Negro in the hole. Now, this video here, as y'all know what it is. This is the politically correct version. This is the soft version. The hole is coming straight down the middle of the plate. Because there's a lot in that video footage. I don't think the video footage is only like 3 minutes. And I watched that video footage, I watched that 10 times. I played it once, watched it again. 10 times I've done that. And each time I watched that video footage, I became more embarrassed. And that is the reason why I decided I'm going to address this in whole. You know what it is, second nature like breathing. If you want this Stephon Clark brother rabbit hole trilogy for y'all's Easter, send me an email, I'll send you the link. Now, I have to start this, and you've seen the title of the video, I have to start this off with a movie that, if you haven't seen this, because this is fitting. This movie here is actually fitting for that entire fiasco with that dude. I believe his name is Devontae. I'm going to just henceforth call him, as I'm going to do most black men, CJ. And if you've seen a Soldier Story, you know why I'm going to refer to not only that Negro, but black men in general as CJ. You will know why. If you haven't seen this movie, you need to see it. And I can remember the first time I viewed this film. I was in college, and I was taking a course in race relations in the Old South. And the professor showed us this movie, and we discussed it. Showed us the first part on one day. The next day in class, they showed the remaining part, and then we had a big discussion over the entire racial component in this movie. And when I seen that movie in that class, I fell in love with Sergeant Waters. I love that man. And again, if you've seen Soldier Story, you already know why I have such an affinity for Sergeant Waters. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. I'm not going to really give you the ending, because if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. But the ending took me by surprise. I didn't see that coming. I could have sworn watching this film, or this movie rather, that the Klan killed Sergeant Waters. I was completely convinced, thoroughly convinced, the Klan killed him. And then the ending really took me by surprise. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you what it is. If you've seen it, you know what happened. But Sergeant Waters was right. Sergeant Waters was a eugenist, and he took eugenics to its logical conclusion. If you've seen the movie, you know how. If you haven't, get it and see it. It's a classic movie. And you also know that I, too, am a eugenist. So naturally, I'm going to have an affection for Sergeant Waters. Sergeant Waters had it right. And that scene in the movie at the end where he was talking to Wookie about CJ, and he gave him the story of the soldier in France who the white soldiers convinced to tie the tail to his leg, his butt, and run around in a monkey suit eating bananas. And Sergeant Waters asked Wookie, do you know the damage one ignorant Negro can do? And that's a profound, profound question. Do you know the damage one fucking ignorant Negro can do? And I thought about that as I looked at Devontae interrupt that city council meeting. That's what I thought about. And immediately I thought about Sergeant Waters. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna frame this video in that context. Because when Sergeant Waters, the hardest part of this movie, and again, if you've seen it, you know this, when he got CJ locked up and he went to visit CJ outside of that cell and he had a conversation with CJ, and what he told CJ was so hard, so hard. CJ committed suicide. You remember where he told him the day of the Geechee is gone? Yeah. And again, this is what I'm thinking about while I'm sitting here watching this Negro perform all last week. Do you know the damage one ignorant Negro can do? Do you understand it only takes one to engage in such buffoonery that it damages the entire race, sets the race back 500 years? And that's what that Negro did last week. When that shine went into that city council meeting and interrupted that city council meeting and proceeded to jump up on the counter and act a complete fucking fool, he set the race back. It was an embarrassment. That's where I kept watching it over and over and again. And I just continued to think to myself, do you know the damage one ignorant Negro can do? And the Negro, see, here we go again. This shit never surprises me. It never fucking surprises me when it comes down to these police shootings. And again, don't come to this video saying I'm making light. It's a tragedy. You know, the brother was shot, killed. That's too bad. But now we have to, as a culture, start asking ourselves the difficult questions. And black people don't want to do this. They're completely comfortable with just saying, well, you know, those cops shot him 20 times. Yes, they did. But the question that I would like to ask him, if I could, and most certainly ask his brother and the rest of those Negroes, why did he run? Why did he run? It's the same question I had for Freddie Gray. When Freddie Gray looked at those cops 8 o'clock in the morning, what did he do? He broke and ran. Why are you running, Freddie? What did you do? And immediately when the cops see this Negro break and run, what you think they thinking in their mind? This nigga just committed a crime, so they chase him. This Negro in a parking lot running from cops in the dark. And when they tell the Negro to stop or get on the ground, he keeps running. Why are you running, guy? If you've done nothing, why are you running? Why are you running? Now, see, black folks don't want to address that. They don't want to ask themselves that question. They just can't handle that logical question. Why did this dude break and running? If the cops are showing up on the scene because somebody's breaking in cars and you're not the one breaking in cars and they roll up. Hey, that ain't me. Here's my ID. Y'all want me on the ground? I'm on the ground. Pat me. I ain't got no weapon on me. Listen, have you seen anybody? I ain't seen nobody. What are you doing here? I explained to him what I'm doing here. I'm not the one breaking in the cars. Why do you run, guy, if you're not the one that's guilty? Why? Why are you running? Same question for Freddie Gray. Why did you break and run when you saw those cops first thing in the morning? And we already know you had dope on you. They know you are a dope dealer. You didn't know whether they're going to stop you and search you. So you ran, and while you were running, you ditched the dope. I know you Negroes. And that guy ran in that parking lot because he was the one breaking in those cars. Yes, he was. Yep, it was him. It was him. And black folks don't want to deal with that. They exclude that from the record and pretend like that never happened. So their narrative is the cops just rolled up on this dude. He wasn't doing nothing. They opened fire and they shot him 20 times. No. They got a call that somebody was breaking in cars, A. They rode up on the scene and saw the Negro, B. We want to find out who he is since we don't know who it is breaking in the cars. Stop. What did he do? He ran. That's the reason why you have the altercation. But black folks don't want to deal with that. And then you got this minstrel. You have this minstrel. I mean, you know, this dude here. I mean, the utter buffoonery and that complete display. I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, and each time again that I'm looking at it, I'm more embarrassed than I was the first time. Such idiocy. Such lunacy. And then this minstrel has the unmitigated gall. The unmitigated gall to tell those in attendance, shut the fuck up. Oh, hold up, brother. Wait a minute. No. If I was in attendance with my father and that minstrel stood at that microphone and said that shit, oh, we got to talk, guy. You're not going to disrespect my father like that, man. First of all, you owe him an apology, and then I still want to see you outside. How in the world did he get a pass telling elders in the attendance, shut the fuck up? Who is this Negro? What gives this shine that authority? And I know in y'all's mind, what gave him that authority is because he's a victim of white supremacy. And since he is an alleged victim of white supremacy, he's given a pass. Even though all of these hoteps and these pro-blacks are always talking about the ancestors, always talking about the elders, but y'all just sit there and let this dude, and we know that there were some senior citizens in attendance, he just sit there and tell them to shut the fuck up, and y'all go with that. This dude acts a complete monkey at that function, and y'all get mad when I call y'all that. Y'all get offended. Y'all don't like that. What do you describe this guy? Did you actually look at his attire? The house slippers? The Beats headphones? I mean, this is the reason why y'all's term coon don't have any bite. This is the reason why I told y'all stop using that word coon. Stop using it. If you're not going to call this dude in this display cooning and buffooning, or call him a coon, showing up to give him a coon award, if you're not going to do that to him, then you don't need to do that to nobody. That's just how that's going to be. This was an embarrassment. And this is the reason why I told you black men, I told y'all, I've been telling y'all this shit for years. Y'all are the laughing stock of civilization. Nobody takes you serious. Nobody. They look at you Negroes and laugh. They look at you Negroes and it's just so amazing, just the level of not only cultural, political, historical stupidity that just oozed from the pores of this shine. It's just amazing. Completely amazing that this is given a pass by y'all. Y'all don't have no problem with this. And I told y'all, this is the politically correct version. We're gonna go straight down the center of the plate in the hole. Because what you have, and I'm going to address this here because I think this is a safe point that I can make in this public video, is that what you'll notice with all of these police shootings, and you notice this, and I know black people don't like this, but you will notice that in all of these cases, you have a dysfunctional home. That's what you had. I mean, Trayvon Martin's mom kicked him out the house numerous times. She couldn't control the boy. The last time she kicked him out the house, he went to go live with the daddy, who was living with the girlfriend. We know the end of the story. Michael Brown stayed in the city with both his biological parents, but he was being raised by his grandmother. Explain that. Tamir Rice, I mean, do I really need to even go there? Father getting out of jail, mama on her way. I mean, we can go on down the list and name all of these cases, and what you have in common is not a white cop pulling the trigger, but a dysfunctional black family. That's what y'all don't want to address. And then what makes this shit even more comical, and I'm going to get more in this in the whole, this is what makes this shit comical, is because the one who facilitates the structure of the black family being dysfunctional and out of whack is the black pastor in the black church. He's the one that upholds the black female being the head of the home, which again is diametrically opposed to the teachings of the Bible that he says he believes in. Yet, he supports her being the head. He believes that she can play both roles. He applauds that Hallmark cards, Happy Father's Day, Mom. He likes that shit. So when you got black men saying that they're interested in helping black men, but somehow they exclude him from their critique in the equation, how serious do y'all want us to take you? When you can't say nothing about what this pastor does. And all of the dysfunction, all of the beta males, the terrorists who terrorize Blackistan, all of these stalking, effeminate Negroes who are sexually suspect that you see on social media have all been reared by a single mother. Or if the father is around, he just don't have a dominant role. And all of these Negroes that you see that's been gunned down by the police, they're in the same place. Because what you're going to find, if you live in a home and you have a father, what you're going to learn, you're going to learn this, is you're going to learn respect for authority. And respecting authority does not mean that I have to like what authority says. I don't have to like it. But I respect it. I didn't like everything my father told me. Hell no, I ain't like everything he told me, but I respected it. I respected him. He's the authority figure. He has the last say. And as he would often tell us, listen, this is my house. It's my shit. Now, if you don't want to abide by my rules, then what you need to do, and I'll help you do it, is you need to get your shit. Then you can be the boss over there. But as long as you stay here, you're going to do what I say when I say. That's just how that's going to be. Just like there are no D's and F's in my house. No. Do not bring me home a report card with D's and F's. There are no D's and F's in my house. And you learn to respect that. Don't like it. Don't always have to agree with it, but you respect it. and that translate over into adult life. You ain't got to like everything that cop tells you to do. But when he has a loaded semi-automatic pointed at your black ass, that is not the time to engage in some kind of argument and debate. That is time to comply with what he's asking you to do. But because you Negroes, in this case here, has been reared by women, y'all think y'all gonna be able to, I'm gonna tell let everybody know what I got to say and I don't care. No, no, that's effeminate, dude. That's what your mother taught you. That you got to have the last word. When somebody got a weapon pointed at you, no, they have the last word. The first and the middle and the last word. But these Negroes don't understand this because they have no respect for authority. And why don't they respect authority? They have no doubt. They have no father. And this is the part of the equation that the Negro don't want to address. He don't want no part of that. So he would just stay camped out at the ongoing legacy of slavery, institutionalized racism, white supremacy, even though most of these Negroes are cohabiting with white women. I mean, Hollywood screenwriters cannot write this shit. Then you have this minstrel. Let's get back to him. I ain't done with him yet. I'm going to save most of it for the whole. Y'all know what it is. But then we had this minstrel here, who stands in that city council meeting. You got to catch this. And that minstrel said, hey, the city has failed y'all. And then he goes on a rant, rambling on about nothing. That has nothing to do with nothing. But the fact that he would actually fix his mouth to suggest that the city of Sacramento failed black people, then later on in the day or the next day, whatever the case may have been, who do we see this Negro hugging? None other than Al Sharpton. Now let that shit sink in for a minute. Let that sink in. I'm gonna let the clock tick so that you can actually just let that resonate. Let that sink in. This Negro said that the city failed black people. Said they failed black people. Excuse me. Then later on the next day, he's cuddled up hugging Reverend Al Sharpton. I mean, now, I know what the Negro gonna say because I know how y'all think. Like I told you, I know you Negroes like the back of my hand. Y'all can't fool me. So I know what y'all gonna say. Y'all gonna say, well, you did mention that the Negro was ignorant. Talking about Devontae, I believe that's his name. Stefan's brother. You did say that he was ignorant. So since he's ignorant, him hugging Reverend Al Sharpton, maybe he doesn't know the history of Al Sharpton like you do. Okay. I know that's what you're going to say. I know that. Because I know y'all. Y'all think y'all got a case now. No, you don't. Because Reverend Al, we don't even need to go to his failures of the past. His failures throughout history. We ain't got to go through all those. Reverend Al failed this brother right in this situation that he's in. So what you going to do about that? And again, I know y'all, so y'all going to say, well, how did he fail him? He came there, he preached the eulogy, he supported the family, he's bringing light to the situation. He ain't failed him. Reverend Al did his job. No, he failed this brother. And the fact that y'all don't know how he failed him means that y'all failures too. Because it should have been Reverend Al. If nobody else pulled this Negro's coattail and pulled him to the side and told him, listen, man, you making a fucking fool of yourself. Cut that shit out. Man, you bringing a negative light to the death of your brother. You want to honor your brother, stand tall and be a man. Don't act like a fucking savage. Oh. Let me back up. I was in the hole. If you want to bring honor and respect to your brother, then, stand up straight and be a man and have some dignity, brother. When you stand and speak, man, show some class, man. That sheds a positive light on your brother, man. Acting a fucking fool the way you were, that does nothing but take the focal point off of your brother, off of his death, and places it on you, which is partly where the Negro wanted it anyway, because that's y'all. That's y'all. Y'all love the drum major instinct. But Reverend Al should have been the one checking that dude, telling him, listen, man, no, that's not the way we handle this. Don't do that. Don't do that. So even if you don't want to deal with the failures of Reverend Al in the past, we ain't even got to deal with it. Reverend Al failed this Negro right in this situation that he's dealing with right now. And for that shine to sit there and say that the city of Sacramento failed black people, and he's hugging the failure of black people. He's literally hugging and kissing the failure of black people. Defies fucking logic. But this is y'all. This is black men. I told y'all are the laughing stock of civilization, man. Nobody takes y'all serious, man. They just don't. You Negroes can't control the economy in your own community. The people who exploit your community, you don't even want to address them. But you're on YouTube addressing people that you don't know who stay in completely different states, completely different time zones. You'll spend your time trying to address them. But the people in your local community that you can actually reach out and touch, you don't even address them. The Negroes who are actually running around sending me emails, trying to bicker and argue with me, wasting their time creating different email accounts to try to argue with me. And the reason why I say try is because y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to block it. But the Richard Spencers, excuse me, the David Dukes, the Klan, all of these people who talk about y'all and say that y'all need to be shipped back to Africa, y'all a bunch of savages, y'all have done nothing. All of these people who say this stuff about y'all online, readily available, y'all don't even address them. Those cops who just shot this brother, ain't nobody trying to dig up no dirt on them. You black men ain't trying to post their address online. Y'all not going to find out what their children look like and put that shit in a video. No, the only people that's eligible for that shit is other black people, which make you Negroes cowards and the laughing stock of civilization. This is the reason why, nobody take you niggas serious, man. But let me back up, because I'm gonna save all that for the whole. And y'all already know what it is. Second nature like breathing. If you want the Easter trilogy, where I'm going to take this, I believe it's Devontae. I'm quite sure that's his name. Devontae. Ain't that something? Ain't that so fucking typical? Well, let me stop. Let me stop. Where I'm going to take Devontae in the hole. You know what it is. Send me an email. I'll send you the link. Because at the end of the day,